A recent report from the Central Statistics Agency paints a grim picture of poverty in central Sulawesi, indicating that a staggering 20% of the province's population is below the poverty line. The situation has alarming consequences, crippling education, healthcare, and overall social well-being. Families, especially children, are trapped in a cycle of deprivation, hindering their access to quality education and basic necessities. The situation highlights the urgent need for comprehensive strategies to uplift the affected communities. One of the primary factors contributing to this dire situation is the limited access to stable employment opportunities. While pivotal to its economy, the region's heavy reliance on agriculture is vulnerable to climate fluctuation and natural disasters, leaving many families in a constant struggle. Additionally, inadequate educational infrastructure and skills training impact the locals' ability to secure better job prospects. Insufficient healthcare exacerbate the problem, leaving a significant portion of the population without access to proper medical facilities, resulting in higher infant and child mortality rates. In response to this crisis, the local government has initiated a series of programs aimed at poverty alleviation. These include targeted social assistance, skills training initiatives, and infrastructure development projects. Moreover, to maximize governmental efforts' impact, the government needs clustering analysis. By identifying specific areas and demographic groups most affected by poverty, authorities can devise precise interventions, ensuring that resources are efficiently allocated where they are most needed. Combining government initiatives and data-driven strategies, mainly statistical clustering, provides hope for a better Central Sulawesi economy. In this research, we grouped 13 regencies and cities in Central Sulawesi province based on poverty levels in 2022 using the average linkage method with principal component analysis (PCA). The factors used in measuring poverty levels as a basis for grouping are the number of poor people, poverty depth index, human development index, Gini ratio, poverty severity index, and open unemployment rate. The average linkage method with principal component analysis is used in data, clustering, and dimensionality reductions. It combines the average linkage method, which calculates the distance between clusters as the average of all the pairwise distance between their members, with principal component analysis (PCA), a linear technique for dimensionality reductions. Moreover, combining the average linkage method with PCA can help manage multicollinearity issues in analysis by transforming correlated variables into uncorrelated principal components, making the results more reliable. In this research, our team created a dashboard that makes it easier to test and obtain grouping results using the average linkage method with principal component analysis. Before grouping, the first step that needs to be taken is the assumption test. In cluster analysis, the assumption tests carried out are the sample adequacy and multicollinearity test. The result of the sample adequacy test saw a value of 0.68. This means that the sample used is representative and worthy of cluster analysis. However, the results of the multicollinearity test show that the results are not satisfactory, which means there is a violation of multicollinearity in the data we used. To overcome this problem, we can proceed to principal component analysis (PCA) testing. From the result of the PCA test, 2 PCAs were formed that met the criteria for an eigenvalue of more than 1, namely PC1 and PC2. The 2 PCs explain the variance of the 6 variable by 82.7%. These 2 PCs will be used for grouping. In the Euclidean distance test, we check PC1 and PC2 and obtain using the silhouette method the optimum number of clusters formed is 2 clusters. We can see that cluster 1 consists of 12 regencies with their poverty levels in the highest order at 7.16, and cluster 2 consists of 1 city with the lowest poverty level at 6.89.
From the result of the analysis using the average linkage method with principal component analysis PCA, we can see that based on the level of poverty, Regencies and city in Central Sulawesi can be grouped into 2 clusters.
The first cluster is the cluster with the highest poverty rate, which consists of 12 regency, namely Bangga Island Regency,
Banggai Laut Regency,
Tojo Nauna Regency,
Buol Regency,
North Morowali Regency,
Parigi Motong Regency,
Banggai Regency,
Poso Regency,
Donggala Regency,
and Toli Toli Regency,
Morowali Regency,
and Sigi Regency. Meanwhile, the second cluster has the lowest poverty level, consisting of 1 city, Palu City. So, what are the factors that causes the poverty level in Palu City is lower than other regencies in Central Sulawesi? Firstly, education plays a vital role in reducing poverty level. The presence of educational institutions and access to quality education has contributed to a lower poverty rate compared to other regencies in Central Sulawesi. Lack of access to quality education and low literacy rates in some regency also hamper social mobility and employment opportunity. Second, one of the factors that can influence the level of poverty is the availability of jobs and economic opportunities. Palu's status as a center of development and economic activities has developed economic sectors such as the tourism sector, industry, and other sectors that can provide jobs and stable income to its residents. Meanwhile, in some regencies, employment opportunities for residents are more limited, especially if they depend on the agriculture sector, which can be vulnerable to change weather and markets. Lastly, the availability of research and infrastructure in Palu has played a significant role in alleviating poverty. The city's well-developed infrastructure, including roads, transportation, network, and basic amenities such as electricity and water supply, has created a conducive environment for economic growth and improved living conditions. These are the solutions that can reduce the level of poverty in Central Sulawesi include: first, quality education. Improving access and quality of education is a key factor in overcoming poverty. Investment in education, including basic education and skills, can help increase employment opportunities and individual earnings. Secondly, infrastructure and access to basic service. Improving infrastructure such as roads, clean water, sanitation, and electrical energy can improve the quality of life and open up economic opportunities. Third, economic diversification. Encouraging economic diversification by developing sectors such as tourism, industry, and trade can create additional jobs and stimulate economic growth. Apart from the factors above, it is important to involve active participation from society in planning and implementing poverty alleviation programs.
One small action,
One big chance.
together we can.
Together we move forward. Let's unite against poverty with love, hard work, and care.
Come on, let's start now.
Isem apa, might be apa. If not us, who else? If not now, when? Tabe.